Let me ask you something. When was the last time your mind was truly quiet? When was it not replaying something you said in a meeting? Or dissecting the tone of a text message? Or worrying about something that has not even happened yet? That passive-aggressive email from your boss on a Friday afternoon? The photo from the party you were not invited to? The unsolicited advice from a relative about your life choices? That feeling in the pit of your stomach that you are constantly being watched, judged, and graded on a scale you never even agreed to? We are living in a state of constant low-grade anxiety, and it is utterly exhausting. But what if I told you the escape route is not what you think it is? What if the key to getting your life back was just two simple words? How much precious non-renewable energy have you wasted worrying about why a friend has not texted you back, or why a coworker got the recognition for a project you poured your heart into? Think about it. You are juggling a 9-to-5 job that feels more like a 24/7 commitment. You are trying to be a good friend, a good partner, a good son or daughter. You are trying to pay off student loans that feel like a mortgage for a house you will never own. And on top of all that, you are supposed to somehow curate and post the highlights of a perfect life on Instagram, smiling through it all. You are stretched thin. You are overwhelmed. You are profoundly exhausted. And here is the brutal, honest-to-God truth that no one ever says out loud. Most of that bone-deep exhaustion is not from the work it is from the invisible, unpaid, soul-crushing second job. We all have the job of trying to manage, predict, and control everyone else's opinions, feelings, and actions. It is a job you were never trained for, and it is a job that is impossible to win. This is not just a feeling. It is a national epidemic. The American Psychological Association, in its latest report, found that over 75% of American adults experience stress that directly and negatively impacts their physical and mental health. 3 out of every 4 people listening to this right now are carrying a weight heavy enough to make them sick. We know this. We feel it in our tight shoulders and our sleepless nights. So we download another meditation app. We buy another self-help book. We promise ourselves we will start journaling. We even consider spending thousands on a wellness retreat But what if the problem is not as complex as we think? What if the solution has been hiding in plain sight all along? What if I told you that you could realistically eliminate the vast majority of that daily stress, not with an app, not with a retreat, but with a simple 2-word mental tool? What if the secret to getting your time back, to getting your creative energy back, to getting your peace of mind back was not about adding another thing to your to-do list, but about letting go of the one thing you were never meant to carry? A radical shift in perspective that costs you absolutely nothing, but gives you back everything. In this video, we are going to do a deep dive into Mel Robbins' revolutionary life-changing concept, the Let Them Theory. This is a practical, actionable psychological tool that millions of people are already using to break free from the invisible prison of other people's expectations. It is a mental framework for taking your power back. To make this incredibly real for you, we are going to break down the 5 specific areas of your life where this theory will create a seismic shift. These are the 5 battlegrounds where you lose the most energy every single day. First, your career and how to finally deal with toxic coworkers and micromanaging bosses. Second, the crippling fear of judgment and how to stop letting the opinions of others dictate your choices. Third, your social life and how to escape the anxiety of being left out and the drama that drains you. Fourth, stick with me through this because I promise you, by the end of this video, you will not just understand this theory. You will have a concrete step-by-step action plan to stop the exhausting, endless cycle of people-pleasing and finally start living your one life for you. So how does this actually work? How do we take this simple 2-word phrase and apply it to the chaos of our actual lives, to the moments that make our heart race and our palms sweat? It works by taking back territory piece by piece. We are going to tackle the 5 core battlegrounds where you lose the most energy, the most time, and the most peace every single day. Think of this as our strategic map for reclaiming your life. First, we will enter battleground number 1, the workplace and your career. This is the world of micromanaging bosses of colleagues who take credit for your ideas and the relentless pressure to be online and available 24/7. We will break down exactly how to use this theory to stop dreading Monday mornings and start walking into the office with a newfound sense of calm and control, no matter what professional drama is thrown your way. Next, we advance to battleground number 2, the crippling fear of judgment. This is the invisible enemy that whispers in your ear every time you want to post something authentic, start a new business, or make a bold life change. It is the fear of what your friends, your family, and even strangers on the internet will think. We are going to dismantle this fear piece by piece, showing you why the opinions of people who do not share your goals or your life are holding you back from your true potential. From there, we move to battleground number 3, your friendships and social life. We will explore how to stop chasing validation and start building authentic connections that energize you instead of depleting you, freeing you from the high school dynamics that follow us into adulthood. Then, we face one of the toughest arenas, battleground number 4, your family and the art of setting boundaries. This is the world of holiday dinners, of parental expectations, and the heavy weight of guilt trips. It is where love and obligation can often get tangled. We are going to give you the scripts and the mindset to navigate these sensitive relationships with grace, so you can be a loving family member without sacrificing your own happiness and autonomy. And finally, we will conquer battleground number 5, your love life and relationships. This is where you will learn how to stop investing in someone's potential and start seeing them for who they truly are, allowing you to build a relationship founded on reality, not fantasy. For each of these 5 battlegrounds, we will go deep. We will not just talk theory. We will give you the strategy, the mindset shift, and the exact words to use. This is your roadmap. Let's begin. All right, let's dive into our first battleground. The American workplace. For so many of us, this is where we spend the majority of our waking hours. It's where our ambitions, our anxieties, and our identities collide every single day. And to understand how the let them theory works here, I want you to meet someone. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah is a senior marketing associate at a mid-sized. She is the unofficial last one to leave the office most nights long after the fluorescent lights have started to hum in the silence. Her green Slack dot is a permanent fixture on weekends, a quiet signal to her boss that she is always on, always ready. When a colleague is struggling to meet a deadline, it is Sarah who steps in to help them, asking for nothing in return. She believes in the simple, almost old-fashioned idea that hard work, dedication, and being a team player are the golden tickets to career advancement. She has put in the hours, she has paid her dues, and she has done it all with a smile. This quarter, the marketing manager position finally opened up. This was it. This was the opportunity Sarah had been working towards for the last 3 years. She spent weeks preparing. She updated her portfolio, she meticulously documented all of her project wins, and she created detailed reports that showcased her contribution. Her main competition was a colleague named Mark. Mark was good at his job, but he was a 9-to-5er. He did exactly what was asked of him and not a single thing more. He was charismatic in meetings, but everyone on the team knew it was Sarah who did the heavy lifting behind the scenes. In her mind, the choice was obvious. She had done everything right. The day of the announcement, Sarah walked into her boss's office with a nervous but hopeful energy. He told her to sit down, and her heart began to beat a little faster. He started by praising her work ethic, her dedication, her reliability. And then came the but. The promotion was going to Mark. The reason her boss explained was that while Sarah was an exceptional operator, Mark demonstrated more strategic visibility and had a natural executive presence. As the corporate jargon washed over, she had sacrificed weekends. She had done the work of two people believing her effort would be seen and rewarded. She had played by all the rules of being a good, hard-working employee. So why did it feel like she had just lost the game? That punch-in-the-gut feeling Sarah experienced is something countless people feel every single day in offices across America. And if you are listening to this and you see even a fraction of yourself in her story, I need you to lean in and hear this next part very, very clearly. Because the pain she felt comes from a fundamental misunderstanding about how the world of work actually operates. For your entire life, you have likely been operating under a dangerously broken assumption. You were taught that if you just put your head down, do great work, and make everyone's lives easier, that your efforts will be seen appreciated and eventually rewarded. You believe that being the dependable one, the team player, the person who always says yes, is a badge of honor that will lead to a promotion. And here is the revelation. The single biggest aha moment that will change your entire career trajectory. That belief is a lie. Your value in the workplace is not determined by how agreeable you are or even by how hard you work. Your value is determined by the results you produce and the boundaries you command. You have spent years making yourself into the perfect, reliable, high-performance engine of the car. You never break down, you are efficient, you do all the heavy lifting. But they do not give the driver's seat to the engine. By being constantly available, by always saying yes, by cleaning up everyone else's messes, you have not signaled that you are a leader. You have signaled that you are a world-class helper. You have trained people, including your boss, to see you as an invaluable operator, but not as a strategic leader. The phrase, executive presence, that Sarah's boss used is not just corporate fluff. It is code for something real. It is about confidence. It is about the ability to say no, the ability to push back on a bad idea, to delegate, to protect your time and your energy for the things that matter most. Mark got the promotion not because he worked harder, but because he likely valued his own time more. His boundaries signaled to management that his focus was on high-impact tasks, not on being a universal problem solver. Your constant agreeableness, your desire, and in the brutal calculus of the corporate world, people do not respect doormats. They respect people who value their own time. They respect people who have clear priorities. They promote people who deliver visible results, not just quiet effort. And your journey to getting that respect and that promotion begins the moment you stop trying to be everything to everyone. So what do you do? How do you go from being Sarah, the overlooked workhorse, to the person who commands respect and gets the promotion? It is not about working harder. It is about working smarter with your energy. It starts by stopping the leaks. You need practical, tactical tools that you can use tomorrow in the very next meeting, in the very next email you send. Here are two of the most powerful, let them tell. This tool is for every single person who has ever spent an entire afternoon or an entire weekend agonizing over a poorly worded email or a comment they made. You know the feeling. Your boss or a colleague replies to your message and it is crystal clear they have completely misinterpreted your tone or your intent. The old you, the Sarah inside of you, immediately panics. Your stomach drops. You feel this overwhelming urge to fix their perception of you. You want to schedule a meeting, send 5 follow-up emails full of apologies and explanations, and basically work yourself into a frenzy trying to control what is happening inside their head. The new you, the you armed with this theory, does something radically different. You send one single calm, clarifying email, something simple and professional. Thanks for the reply. And then, and this is the most important part of the entire technique, you let it go. You mentally say the words, I have been clear, I have been professional. If they still choose to see it differently, let them. You refuse to waste another minute of your day ruminating. You reclaim those hours of agony, and you channel them back into your most important project. You stop being the unpaid manager of their feelings, and you go back to being the high-performing manager of your own work. The second tool is even more powerful, and it is for the moments that feel like the greatest injustice. This is the let them take the credit pivot. This is for that moment that makes your blood boil. You are in a team meeting and a colleague, your very own mark, presents your idea or your work as their own. The primal emotional part of your brain wants to scream. You want to stand up and shout, "That was mine." You feel the urge to complain to your work friends about how you were robbed. All of this is a massive drain of your most valuable professional resource, your focus. Here is the pivot. In that public moment, you do nothing. You remain calm. You let them have their small, hollow victory. It means nothing in the long run, because you are not playing for small wins. You are playing for the championship. Your real move happens silently behind the scenes. You will start keeping a win journal, a simple document or folder where you meticulously and unemotionally track your contributions with data and evidence. When you lead a project that increases leads by 15%, you document it. When you solve a client issue that retains a major account, you document it with the client's positive feedback. Then you say, looking back at this quarter, I wanted to review my key contributions. I led the X initiative, which resulted in Y. I also streamlined the Z process, saving our team approximately 10 hours a week. You are not complaining. You are presenting an ironclad case for your value built on facts. Let them chase the fleeting credit in meetings. You will be too busy building the documented proof that gets you the promotion. Now, let us move to our second battleground. And for many, this is the most personal war we wage. The fear of judgment. This is the invisible fence that keeps us penned into lives we don't love and jobs we don't enjoy. To understand its power, let me introduce you to Mike. On paper, Mike is the definition of success. He has a 6-figure job in finance and his parents are incredibly proud. They tell all their friends that their son is a successful investment banker. From the outside, he is living the American dream. But late at night, when the city lights twinkle outside his apartment window, Mike is not looking at stock market trends. He is looking at used food trucks for sale in the Midwest. Because Mike's real passion, the thing that makes his heart beat faster, has nothing to do with portfolios. It is in perfecting his signature recipe for Korean barbecue tacos. He dreams of the sizzle of marinated beef hitting a hot grill, the smell of gochujang and cilantro, the roar of a generator, and the happy faces of customers taking their first bite. He has a name picked out. He has a business plan drafted. He knows deep in his gut that he could be happy doing this. But he can hear his dad, a man who worked 40 years at the same factory, sighing over the phone. "A food truck. Michael, are you insane? We paid for your MBA." He can hear his mom's voice laced with panic, asking if he is having some kind of breakdown. He can picture his friends from the firm laughing over expensive drinks. "Did you hear Mike quit to go flip tacos from a truck?" The word crazy echoes in his mind, and so the business plan stays hidden in a folder on his desktop. The dream remains a dream. Mike is stuck not by a lack of passion or a lack of skill, but by the invisible crushing weight of other people's future opinions. He is paralyzed by the fear of what they will think. Mike's story, and if you have ever felt that same cold paralysis, that same fear of what they will think, then this is the moment you need to wake up. You have been living under the tyranny of a deeply flawed belief. You think that you need everyone's approval to start. You believe that you need your parents' blessing, your friends' enthusiastic support, and the world's permission before you can take the first step towards the life you actually want. You are waiting for a green light from a world that is perfectly happy to see you stay exactly where you are. And here is the revelation, the aha moment that will set you free if you truly let it sink in. The people whose opinions you fear the most are almost always the ones who are too afraid to pursue their own dreams. Read that again. When your dad hears food truck, he does not actually hear your passion or see your vision. He hears a threat to the worldview he has built his entire life around. His 40 years of stability and predictable paychecks are his proof that he made the right choices. Your risky, unconventional dream feels like an unconscious judgment of his safe path, and his fear-driven criticism is his way of defending his own life story. When your friends in finance laugh, they are not really laughing at you. They are laughing nervously at the part of themselves that also dreams of escaping the spreadsheets and the soul-crushing meetings. Your courage is a spotlight on their own lack of it, and making a joke out of your dream is easier than confronting their own quiet desperation. You have been looking at their potential judgment as a verdict. It is their confession that they chose comfort over calling. It is their confession that they do not have the courage to do what you are considering. You have been waiting for permission from a jury that was never qualified to hear your case. The only approval you have ever needed is your own. Their fear is their prison, not yours. Their judgment is a reflection of their limitations, not a measure of your potential. So, how do you actually do this? How do you break a lifetime habit of caring what other people think? It starts not with a grand gesture, but with a quiet personal declaration of independence. You need tools that retrain your brain and reclaim your mental real estate from the opinions of others. Here are 2 simple but profoundly effective tools you can start using today. The first tool is called the Let Them Judge Declaration. I want you to get quiet and be brutally honest with yourself. And at the top of that paper, you are going to write down the 3 biggest fears of judgment that are holding you back right now. Maybe number 1 is, my parents will think I'm a failure if I quit my job. Maybe number 2 is, my friends will think I'm ridiculous if I start posting my art online. Maybe number 3 is, people will judge me for ending this relationship that looks perfect from the outside. Get specific. Write down the exact fear. And then next to each one of these terrifying statements, you are going to write 7 powerful words, and I will let them think that. That is it. My parents will think I am a failure, and I will let them think that. My friends will think I am ridiculous, and I will let them think that. You are not. This simple act of writing it down externalizes the fear, and you formally give yourself permission to stop trying to control their thoughts. This piece of paper becomes your mantra. You read it every morning until the fear no longer has a hold on you. The second tool is for when the anxiety of judgment strikes you in the moment. It is called the 5-5-5 rule. The next time you find yourself obsessing over a critical comment or worrying about how you came across in a presentation, I want you to stop and ask yourself 3 simple questions. First, will this matter in 5 days? Will anyone, including me, even remember this minor event 5 days from now? The answer is almost always no. Second, will this matter in 5 months? In the grand scheme of your year, when you are 5 years older, looking back, will this moment even register as a tiny blip on the radar of your life? Of course not. This is not about dismissing your feelings. It is about contextualizing them. The 5-5-5 rule acts like a psychological zoom-out button, instantly shrinking the perceived size of the judgment down to its actual insignificant size. It breaks the obsessive loop in your brain and reminds you that you are playing a much bigger, longer game than the opinions of one person on one day. Let us now advance to our third battleground, a place that can be the source of our greatest joy or our deepest insecurities, our friendships and our social lives. In an age of digital connection, we have more ways than ever to feel disconnected. To understand this modern paradox, I want you to imagine a woman named. Suddenly, a new story pops up at the top of her feed. It is from one of her closest friends, Jessica. She taps on it. The video is loud and vibrant. It is a shot of 4 of her best friends all laughing around a table at that new trendy taco place downtown. Someone raises a margarita glass to the camera. The caption reads, "Spontaneous Taco Tuesday with my favorite people." And Chloe's heart sinks, just a little at first. A familiar cold knot begins tightening in her chest. They were her favorite people too. Her mind immediately starts to race. Why was I not invited? Did I say something weird in the group chat last week? She tries to rationalize it. Maybe it really was a last-minute thing. But then she remembers. Yesterday afternoon, she had sent a message into that very same group chat. A simple text. Underneath her message, she sees the 5 tiny profile pictures of her friends, and next to them, the 2 little words that can cause so much anxiety. Read by everyone. No one had replied. And now, 24 hours later, they are all together having a great time without her. The silence from her text message and the noise from their Instagram story combine into one single painful conclusion. She has been left out. The ache she feels is not really about the tacos or the margaritas. It is about the feeling of being forgotten. It is the sting of seeing an invisible wall between you and the people you thought you were closest to. It is the modern-day loneliness of being on the outside of a glowing screen looking in. That feeling that Chloe experienced, that cold knot in the stomach, is it feels like a direct statement about your worth. The silence in the group chat, the laughter in the Instagram story, it all translates in our anxious minds into a single brutal message: you are not important enough. You are not wanted. And for your entire social life, you have been operating under a false and painful assumption that fuels this very fear. You believe that true friendship is a social contract that requires perfect attendance. You believe that your value as a friend is measured by your inclusion in every plan, every dinner, every inside joke. You believe that being left out is a sign that the friendship is failing, or worse, that you are failing as a friend. And here is the revelation that will free you from the social anxiety treadmill if you let it. That belief is fundamentally broken. Chasing a perfect attendance record in your friends' lives is not a sign of a great friendship. It is a sign of your own insecurity. Let us be brutally honest for a moment. Not every social gathering is a referendum on your likability. Life is complicated. People are tired. Sometimes 2 work friends need to grab a quick drink to vent about their boss, and it has nothing to do with you. Sometimes a couple of friends who are going through a similar life stage, like having a newborn, need to connect on that specific level, and it has nothing to do with you. Sometimes a get-together is genuinely spontaneous, and it has nothing to do with you. You have been torturing yourself by assuming that every plan you are not a part of is a personal rejection. It is not. You have made yourself the main character in the story of everyone. Your goal should be to cultivate friendships that feel deep, supportive, and energizing when you do connect. One meaningful 2-hour coffee conversation with a friend where you can be your true self is worth more than a dozen loud group dinners where you feel like you have to perform. Stop chasing inclusion. Stop monitoring the guest lists of other people's lives. Start investing your limited social energy in the connections that fill you up, not the ones that leave you feeling empty and anxious on the outside looking in. So, how do you break free from this cycle of social anxiety? How do you stop your happiness from being dictated by a group chat or an Instagram story? You need to shift from being a passive spectator of your social life to an active participant. It requires a new set of tools designed not to get. The first tool is called the Let Them Not Invite You Liberation. This tool is your first aid kit for the sting of being left out. The next time you see that photo or hear about that get-together you were not a part of, your old brain will want to spiral. It will want to craft stories of rejection and search for evidence of your own unlikability. Your new brain will do something revolutionary. You will say the words, "Let them not invite me." And then you will reframe that moment not as a rejection, but as a gift. It is the gift of a free evening. It is the gift of unexpected time that is now 100% yours to control. Instead of sitting at home feeling sorry for yourself, you will treat that time like a precious resource. You will use that Tuesday night to finally read that book you have been wanting to start. You will use that Saturday after. You will take the energy you would have wasted on feeling bad and you will invest it back into yourself. It is a profound shift. You stop seeing your social worth as something that is given to you by others and you start building it yourself from the inside out. The second tool moves you from defense to offense. It is called the Let Me Initiate Power move. A huge part of social anxiety comes from a feeling of powerlessness from waiting by the phone for someone else to make a move. This tool flips that script entirely. It is built on the second, more powerful half of the theory. You have let them have their taco night. Now it is time for the let me. Instead of staring at a silent group chat and wondering why no one is responding, you will close the app. You will take a deep breath, and you will ask yourself a simple, powerful question. You will text that one friend. Hey, I was just thinking about you. Would you be free to grab a coffee on Saturday morning? I'd love to catch up. This move does two things. First, it completely bypasses the drama and ambiguity of group dynamics. Second, and more importantly, it puts you back in the driver's seat of your own social life. You are no longer waiting to be chosen. You are choosing. You are no longer a passive recipient of invitations. You are the initiator of genuine connection. We now arrive at our fourth battleground, and for so many of us, it is the original and most emotionally charged one of all. Family. This is the place where our deepest loyalties and our most painful triggers reside. To bring this battleground into sharp, Alex has driven 3 hours to be here, and has spent the last hour mentally preparing, giving themselves a pep talk in the car before walking through the front door. The first 2 hours are fine, filled with small talk and a football game playing on the television. But then everyone sits down at the dining room table. The meal begins. And so does the interrogation. It starts with Alex's mom. She passes the mashed potatoes, smiles warmly, and then, with the casual precision of a skilled archer, she lets the first arrow fly. So, Alex, she says, you did not bring anyone with you this year either. Your cousin just got engaged, you know. Are you even trying to meet someone nice? I just worry about you being alone. Every word lands like a tiny familiar blow. Speaking of trying, he says, looking at Alex over his glasses, how is that little freelance business of yours going? Is that ever going to turn into a real job with a 401k and some stability? I just saw our neighbor's kid got a big promotion at the bank. Now that is a real career. The phrase little business echoes in Alex's ears. All the 60-hour weeks, the stress of finding clients, the pride in building something from nothing, all of it is reduced to a childish hobby. Alex feels about 10 years old again, sitting at the kids' table, desperate for the approval of the adults. The rest of the dinner is a blur of defensive answers and forced smiles, all while counting down the minutes until it is acceptable to leave. That car ride home is heavy with a toxic cocktail of emotions. Guilt for feeling angry, resentment for that feeling of shrinking at the dinner table, that heavy drive home. It all stems from a powerful and deeply ingrained belief system that was programmed into you from childhood. You believe in your bones that it is your fundamental job to manage your parents' emotions and to meet their expectations. You believe that their happiness is a reflection of your success, and that their disappointment is a direct indictment of your life choices. When your mom worries, you feel a compulsive need to soothe her. When your dad expresses disapproval, you feel a desperate urge to justify your path and win his approval. You have spent your entire adult life acting as the unpaid emotional manager for your parents, constantly tweaking your life, your words, and even your feelings in a futile attempt to make them feel proud, happy, and calm. You are responsible for your actions, but you are not, and have never been responsible for their feelings about your actions. Let that sink in for a second. Their disappointment is not yours to carry. Their worry is not yours to fix. Their anxiety about your life choices belongs to them, not you. Those feelings are born from their own life experiences, their own definition of success, their own fears, and their own journey. When your dad questions your career, he is likely expressing his own fear of instability, a fear that was probably shaped by his life experiences. When your mom worries about you being single, she is likely filtering your life through her own belief that partnership equals happiness. Their reactions are about their emotional programming, not a factual assessment of your life. For years you have viewed setting a boundary as not an act of aggression. It is an act of profound self-respect. It is the only way to shift your relationship from a dysfunctional parent-child dynamic into a healthy adult-to-adult one. It is you lovingly but firmly teaching them how you expect to be treated. So how do you actually stand your ground in the face of a lifetime of conditioning? How do you hold on to your sense of self when your parents' disappointment is washing over you at the dinner table? You need simple, clear tools that are less about confrontation and more about calm, confident redirection. Here are 2 essential tools for your family and boundaries toolbox. The first tool is your internal defense mechanism. It is called the Let Them Be Disappointed shield. This tool is for that moment when you see the look on them. Your every instinct will scream at you to fix it, to backpedal, to explain yourself into a corner until that look goes away. With this shield, you will do the opposite. You will internally say to yourself, let them be disappointed. You will accept their emotion as real. You will accept that it exists, but you will refuse to absorb it. Externally, you will respond with calm validation, not justification. When your mom says she worries about you, instead of listing all the reasons she should not worry, you say, Mom, I understand this isn't what you might have pictured for me, and I know your concern comes from a place of love, but I want you to know that I am truly happy with the life I am building, and this is the right path for me. You are not arguing. You are not asking for permission. You are validating her feeling, I understand, while confidently stating your own reality. The second tool is for when they just will not let a topic go. It is called the Let Me Be Clear script. This is a polite but completely firm conversation ender. Let us say your dad brings up your little business for the 3rd time. The script has 3 parts. First, you acknowledge the positive intent behind their words. Second, you state the boundary clearly. Third, you immediately pivot to a new safe topic. It sounds like this. Dad, I really appreciate you caring so much about my financial security. We have talked about this a few times, and my career is not something I'm going to discuss today. What I really want to know is, did you get a chance to go golfing last week? How was the new course? You see what happened there? You did not get angry. You are teaching them that the toll booth to a pleasant conversation with you requires that they respect your boundaries. And now we arrive at our final and perhaps most vulnerable battleground: your love life and your relationships. From the dizzying highs of a new connection to the quiet complexities of a long-term partnership, this is the arena where our need for acceptance is at its most raw and powerful. To understand how we lose ourselves here, let us follow the story of a woman named Jenna. Jenna has been on 3 dates with a guy named David, and the dates were great. The conversation flowed, there was laughter, there was chemistry. But now she finds herself in that familiar, agonizing limbo of modern dating. The space between the dates, which has become a full-time job of analysis and anxiety. Her phone. David is a slow texter, at least that is what he says. Sorry, work is just crazy right now. He will text hours after she has sent a message. And so Jenna starts to adjust. She starts to perform. She knows David mentioned he is into hiking, so she spends an hour on a Saturday morning she would have rather spent researching local trails to casually mention later. She notices he follows a lot of indie bands on social media, so she starts listening to their music, hoping to impress him with her taste. She intentionally waits 2 hours to reply to his texts, so she does not seem too eager. She has become a detective piecing together clues from his digital footprint and a method actor trying to become the cool, low-maintenance, outdoorsy, indie music-loving girl she thinks he wants. She is so focused on winning the prize of his affection, she is not dating David anymore. She is auditioning for him. You see, that exhausting performance, that constant draining audition that Jenna is putting on, is fueled by one of the most painful and destructive beliefs we hold about love. For your entire romantic life, you have been operating under a deeply flawed assumption that has caused you nothing but heartache. You believe, consciously or not, that you can make someone love you if you just try hard enough. You believe that love is a prize to be won, and if you can just be smart enough, funny enough, attractive enough, or interesting enough, if you can just crack the code of what the other person wants and become that person, then they will have no choice but to choose you. You treat their affection like a promotion you are trying to earn, putting in emotional overtime and hoping your efforts will. And here is the single most liberating revelation you will ever have about your love life. It is the aha moment that will save you from years of future heartbreak. You cannot control someone else's feelings or their readiness for a commitment. You just cannot. Their actions are the truth. And if they wanted to, they would. That is it. That is the entire secret. All the effort you are putting into analyzing their texts, all the energy you are spending trying to be their perfect match, it is all based on the illusion that you have control. But you do not. If someone is consistently slow to text you back, the truth is not that they are always incredibly busy. The truth is that you are not a priority. If they consistently avoid making concrete plans for the future, the truth is not that they are. If they tell you they are not ready for a relationship but continue to act like they are in one with you, the truth is they want the benefits of a relationship without the responsibility of one. Their actions are telling you the entire story. You have just been refusing to read it because you do not like the ending. If they wanted to, they would, is the great clarifier. It cuts through every excuse, every mixed signal, every what if. It is not a criticism of you. It is a simple statement of fact about them. And the moment you stop trying to earn love and start observing the actions of the people in front of you is the moment you take your power back. So how do you stop auditioning and start connecting authentically? How do you trade the anxiety of uncertainty for the clarity of self-respect? It is about deploying a new set of dating tools that. The first tool is your new non-negotiable standard for evaluating everyone you date. It is called the Let Them Show You Who They Are filter. From this moment forward, you will stop listening to their words and you will only watch their actions. Their actions are data. That is all. They are not a reflection of your worth. They are simply data points that reveal who this person truly is. They do not text you back for a full day. You do not spiral. You calmly say to yourself, let them not text back. And you log that data point. This person is not a consistent communicator, or is not that interested. They talk about all the things they want to do with you, but never actually make a plan. You do not try to nudge them into it. You say, let them not make a plan. And you log that data point. It is simply a data-driven conclusion that this person is not a match for what you are looking for. The second tool is the most important shift of all. It is called the Let Me Choose Me standard. For your entire dating life, the primary question running through your mind has been, do they like me? Am I doing enough to make them like me? This tool requires you to throw that question in the trash forever. The new question, the only question that matters, is this: do I like the person I become when I am around them? Do I feel calm and confident or anxious and insecure? Do I feel like I can be my true, authentic self? Or do I feel like I am constantly performing, walking on eggshells? Do I feel energized after I see them? Or do I feel drained from all the work of analyzing the interaction? This is the let me revolution in your love life. You will say to yourself, and let me invest my precious time and energy in someone whose actions consistently align with their words. When you make yourself the chooser instead of the one waiting to be chosen, the entire game changes. You are no longer looking for someone to validate you. You are looking for someone who is worthy of you. But today, as we bring our journey to a close, it is crucial that you understand something. The let them theory is only half of the equation. It is the first vital step, but it is not the destination. Saying let them is like performing emergency triage. It stops the bleeding. It frees you from the immediate life-draining crisis of trying to control other people. It creates a space. It clears the battlefield of all the noise, and the second and most crucial part of this entire philosophy, the part that actually builds your new life, is what you choose to do with that newfound space and that reclaimed energy. And that, my friends, is the let me revolution. If let them is about release, then let me is about reclaiming. It is the conscious, deliberate act of turning your focus away from the outside world and pointing it directly back at yourself. It is the moment you stop being a reactor to other people's lives and you become the powerful creator of your own. It is a profound shift in the flow of your energy. For every let them, you declare you must follow it with an even more powerful let me. It looks like this. Let them be wrong about me. That, the reclaim. Let me use this free night to plan my own damn party, or better yet, to work on the business that will one day fund my wildest dreams. Let them think my career choice is a mistake. That is the release. The reclaim. Let me become so undeniably good at what I do that my results speak for themselves. Let them not text me back. That is the release. The reclaim. Let me put my phone down and be fully present in my own amazing life. Do you feel the difference? Let them is a shield that protects you, but let me is the sword that you use to carve out your new future. Let them gives you peace, but let me gives you power. We have walked together through the 5 great battlegrounds where you lose yourself on a daily basis. We started in the workplace where you learned to stop being we then confronted the crippling fear of judgment, where you discovered that the opinions of others are merely a reflection of their own fears, not a verdict on your potential. We moved into the complicated world of your social life, liberating you from the anxiety of being left out and empowering you to become the initiator of genuine connection. We faced the emotionally charged arena of your family, giving you the tools to set loving boundaries and to reclaim your right to live a life that makes you proud, even if they do not understand it. And finally, we navigated the vulnerable landscape of your love life, where you learned to stop auditioning for affection and to start choosing a partner based on the clarity of their actions, not the ambiguity of their words. In every single one of these battles, the common enemy was never the boss, the parent, the friend, or the let them theory is your formal declaration of independence from that illusion. It is the tool that finally and forever brings the fight back to the only place you were ever meant to fight it, the only place you can ever truly win inside of yourself. You stop trying to be the writer, director, and producer of everyone else's movie, and you finally step into the starring role of your own. This is not about becoming passive or indifferent. It is about becoming strategically focused. It is about understanding that your energy is your most precious, finite resource, and from this day forward, you will no longer waste it on things you cannot control. And so your journey starts now. Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now, with one small, concrete step. I have a challenge for you and a request. In the comments below, I want you to make a public declaration. Is it, let my coworker have their bad mood without letting it ruin my day? Is it, let my parents disagree with my choice about the holidays? Is it, let my friend be flaky without taking it personally? Go down to the comments, declare it, and write it down. The simple act of putting it into words and sending it out into the world is the first step in making it real. You will be amazed at the power of a shared commitment of seeing hundreds of other people in the comments doing the exact same thing alongside you. You are not alone in this fight. And my request is this: if this video, if these ideas gave you even a small spark of clarity or a moment of relief, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. We are not just... Thank you for your time and for your trust in walking through these ideas with me. The tools are now yours. The choice is now yours.